Anyways, let's start out immediately with some breaking news. Some breaking news. Main topic is going to be ice and Greenland. Let's start out with something that came to us from Fox News 1 hour ago and take it from there. Actually, no, from CNN. I'll take this one.
Large protests in Greenland and Denmark as President Trump escalates his threats to take over the
Set up something so we can donate for the wedding budget without Twitch taking a cut. You're so smart, Pixel. That's crazy. That's crazy. That would be funny. Like a wedding budget, and just like put it like a separate thing. And then people that want to support the show, support it here. And people that want to buy us drinks at the wedding, support the wedding. That's hilarious.
Semi-autonomous Danish territory. He ramped up the pressure on the Arctic island today, saying he'll impose new tariffs on Denmark and several other European countries unless a deal is reached to purchase Greenland. Today, a large crowd of people taking to the streets in Greenland, telling Trump they're
1 minute and 30 left of the hype train. Use it, baby, use it. Okay, I want a poll in chat. Which I definitely will not use to gamble. Will the United States use military tactics, aka will the United States physically intervene in Greenland or no? Basically, will the U.S. invade Greenland or no? I'm not saying annex, I'm not saying purchase, I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying using military force to do something against Greenland in 2026. I want, please, mods, make a poll. The options are yes or no. And I'll say if I agree or disagree. So when you're saying yes, yeah, I have my money on that. I'm thinking about literally putting my money on that.
their homeland.
No, they will just purchase it. Let's see.
Is not for sale. The same message was heard in protests in several Danish cities earlier today, with thousands taking part. A U.S. delegation of bipartisan U.S. lawmakers is in Copenhagen, meeting with leaders from Denmark and Greenland. And amid the growing tension, several European nations have sent military personnel to Greenland for joint exercises. We've got team coverage of these developments. We'll go to those protests in Greenland.
Apparently, there are 2 Slovenians that are deployed in Greenland. Will we finally have revenge for Yugoslavia against the Yankees? Let us see. Can mods do a poll, please? Is it difficult to make a poll? Is it this difficult to make a poll?
In a
Should
moment.
I do it myself?
But let's begin with Betsy Klein and these new tariffs that President Trump is promising. Betsy, what more can you tell us?
Right, Federico. During President Trump's second term, we have seen him use tariffs, and specifically the threat of tariffs, as a key negotiating tool. And he appears to be doing that right now with Greenland. That is the Arctic island that is controlled by Denmark, that Trump says the U.S. needs to control for national security purposes to counter threats from both China and Russia. Its strategic placement in that Arctic region. This, of course, has spawned major pushback from Greenland, from Denmark, and from other
There you go. I created the poll. Oh my God, that was advanced mathematics.
top European allies, with many
Everybody
deploying
vote.
military personnel to the island this week. And it could have significant economic impacts on those countries, as well as top European countries that are key trading partners with the United States. The president had noted that
It already has. He has imposed tariffs. Okay, 10% to pretty much all of the Scandies. I'm sorry, Scandies. Everything's going to get more expensive by 10% because the president of Empire decided he wanted the white land that they call green. That's it. That's the entirety of the premise. But to an extent, serves you right for choosing to be allies with someone who has historically proven time and time again that they treat their allies worse than sometimes they treat their adversaries. The TLDR, for those of you who might be new here, when it comes to my analysis of unipolarity, multipolarity, and more importantly, empire in decline, what we are seeing here is the loot chest of American empire, which includes its allies, growing ever smaller and smaller, both due to the fact that the United States is in later stages of capitalism and that it has actual competition coming to it, mostly from Asia. The U.S. has smaller and smaller, let's explain it in Fortnite terms, smaller and smaller loot boxes to open by itself, let alone share with its allies. And that's causing what? What is it causing? It is causing additional contradictions when it comes to the perspective that America's allies have towards the very alliance that they've followed for so long, because they're not getting any of the loot of empire. So they have to do the grunt work of empire. They have to deploy troops. They have to use American logistics. They have to completely rely on the American economy. They need to forget their sovereignty, always place themselves second to Burgerland. But for a very long time, Burgerland provided, right? Burgerland gave you stuff. But now there's less stuff to be handed around. Hell, there is so little stuff to be pirated that now empire is not looking inwards, but it's looking at its former allies not as fellow sharks, but fish and sheep to be eaten. That is the simplest possible explanation, and it is, well, 100% correct. If you're a mob, which basically empire is, and you have 100 soldiers, right? You have 100 soldiers. When everything is going really well, everybody eats good, right? You're racketeering, you're selling coke, you're selling H, you hold most of the neighborhoods, blah, blah, blah. But then new designer drugs start popping up. Other dealers from other towns with better logistics start moving into your territory. Now there's less and less and less money to be made in your city. So what do? Those 100 henchmen that were loyal to you, that are probably divided among, like, you have your own 40 guys and the other 60 guys are other families, but that are under the umbrella of your family. What do? You start racketeering them. You start treating them as enemies. Or, best case scenario, you hope that they are stupid schmucks and that they will do the same amount of work they've done before, but for less loot, for less cash, for less white. That's how it works. When you base the majority of your development on imperialism, other people's money eventually runs out. Isn't that funny? The very terminology they use against socialists, that socialism sounds good in theory, but in praxis, everyone else's money eventually runs out, so you can't manage socialism. Isn't it funny how one of the greatest contradictions of capitalism, turned into this mega violent, unclenching, unyielding imperial machine that it eventually cannot sustain itself, at least in one particular place, in one particular country. Capitalism does not have any allegiance to any flag, nation, people, creed, or color. It milks them dry, or in the case of the United States of America, it rides them like a war horse until it is no longer relevant for its own growth. But before we come to the American war horse being irrelevant, the periphery of empire gets slapped around first. And what is more of a periphery of empire than fucking Denmark and fucking Greenland, with all due respect to people from both of those geographical locations? So yes, That is how you should frame it in your mind. That is at least my modest suggestion as your today's entertainer slash educator.
Could use tariffs on these countries to apply some pressure, but putting names and a number on it today in a post to social media. I want to read to you a little bit of that very lengthy post. He said, starting on February 1st, 2026, all of the above mentioned countries, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland, will be charged a 10% tariff on any and all goods sent to the United States of America. On June 1st, 2026, the tariff will be increased to 25%. This tariff will be due and payable until such time as a deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland. Of course, giving officials just 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks until February 1st to find some sort of negotiated agreement to avoid those pricey tariffs. And
the wild thing also is that when Trump eventually claims Greenland for America, there is nothing to stop him from claiming the rest of Denmark or the Norwegian oil fields. He will continue to take until someone stops him, and Europe won't stop him if they continue to elect far-right nationalist conservative politicians. That is 100% correct. But it's not even about him setting a precedent. Precedents are irrelevant. International law is irrelevant. Countries trying not to act as hypocrites is no longer the game. Okay? One can argue it never was. In unipolarity, when there is one player who is bigger than the police, okay, who is bigger than international law, is bigger than anyone else, okay? In unipolarity, you have no rules and regulations. What are rules and regulations if they are not enforced? They're Santa Claus stories for adults. That's what they are. They are irrelevant. Might, as always, makes right. But unfortunately, in a world where one guy is bigger than everyone else, that guy decides how the game is played. We just pretended that it didn't work that way until recently, but we no longer are. And if I can say that there's one thing I appreciate about the Trump administration is from the perspective of, people from the developing world, at least he tells us in the eye, I want your shit. Sit, bitch, I want your shit. I don't have to sit, I don't have to listen about how you're liberating me and bringing me, the glory of democratic Western values. No, you just tell me I'm stronger, give me shit, or I kill you. I appreciate that far more than the hypocrisy of the Bush era. I'm Irish, and we are expecting Trump in the lead up to St. Patrick's Day in March to start talking about how Ireland should become another U.S. state. We would rather be nuked. Hey, okay, maybe we can long game this, okay? If you really think about it, if the United States of America conquers the planet, then we've unified the planet. Then it's just the United States of the planet, which is kind of nice, which is kind of nice. But it's not going to be global socialism, aka comunismus. It's going to be global capitalism. Will U.S. invade Greenland? We have 59% saying yes. Okay, I am putting $1 million on Polymarket on U.S. invading Greenland. Wish me luck, guys. If you don't see me streaming ever again, no, even if I made $1 million, I would still stream. I was wondering why we were this zoomed into this lady's face, блядь. I'll match. Let's go, Anarchy Reigns. Subscribe right now. Support the show. We have 0% sponsors, 0% ads, so that we can reach Gamba point and we can Gamba together. We are, 97 subs away. I would really like the Gamba today. Sundays are for Gamba. Sundays are for the Gen. If you don't know what Gamba is, write !! Gamba and you will see what it is. We are the only channel on Twitch where you can actually gamble. And that's how we sustain the show. So there's like communists here, and then there's gambling degenerates. And the gambling degenerates uplift us. It's kind of like when Stalin robbed banks. Many communists did, not just him, but robbed banks in order to support revolution. Well, we open casinos to fund the revolution. We're like Native Americans in that way. What's this?
Okay, I think we're almost there.
Really?
Yeah,
What
you
is
look
that?
like a real fucked up piece of shit mess.
Well, honey, I started as one, I might as well end as one.
Can I ask how many times you were hit?
I was hit at least a dozen times, maybe even 10 times.
And is that counting or not counting gang violence?
Oh my God, Trevor.
Gang violence?
We're moving on from that immediately. Guys, Spencer told me to say it.
You should never listen to Spencer. That's like the #1 rule of this hospital.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're almost there.
Thank you, Gobby Trash Goblin, for getting us closer to that Gamba moment. And thank you, Trekas. Yo. Thank you for the gifty. Thank you very much. What a time to be alive. It truly is. Smoshing Ugopnik on one screen.
Wonderful. A new
Pretty
child
wild.
soldier,
I too have grown it
subscriber.
up. I too have grown it up on the Smoshes. And the other man, whose name I cannot say because I would be saying the worst slur. You know that guy? What? How the fuck was he named that? To this day, I'm baffled. Guess who I'm talking about? Like a very old school YouTuber that was basically doing Smosh stuff, whose name you can't say. How was he not immediately banned for having that name? Mind you, like not a black person. Yeah, what Commie Space Invader said that I cannot say. Yeah. That one. Crazy burger guy. No, I can't call his name. I think he's called Fat Man. Mayonnaise Giga. Oh, I'll take that as a compliment, dude.
Meetings this week with top officials from Greenland, from Denmark, along with Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, to try to resolve this. And they agreed to keep talking, but there wasn't any clear resolution reached there. The president has also suggested that the possibility of leaving the NATO alliance remains on the table. Listen.
Please do that. Do that. Please do that. Do that. Please do that.
It's my own custom Shrek mess. He's got custom lips.
That's hot. That's hot. That's hot, chat. That's hot. You can't lie. Don't lie to me. You know that's hot. You know that's hot. Listen, guys. What is NATO? NATO is the United States of America telling a bunch of European countries, "Hey, your interests are the same as my interests because capitalism good, communism bad." Then communism kind of to an extent disappears from the Soviet Union and from Yugoslavia, and they tell us from China. And they're like, okay, now we can chill a little bit more, but let's keep this union so that we can stop the Eastern barbarian hordes. Now it's no longer communism versus capitalism. Now it's the Eastern barbarian hordes. Let's keep them at bay. We have a garden here in Western Judeo fucking Christian words, white, okay? White people must look out for each other. So let's look out for each other. This is NATO, right? But now motherfuckers be like, well, why do I have to ally with the fucking Eurocucks? I could just make the Eurocucks do whatever I tell them. I don't have to. Why am I paying for majority of the stuff? Hey, Eurocucks, increase your spending on NATO from the GDP by 5%. They all do it. Okay, then why do I... What? What I'm trying to say is the United States of America, in its foreign policy outlook, has realized that its relationship to European powers no longer has to be one in which they pretend to be friends, but one where they can very openly state and tell the Eurocucks to listen or fucking die. That's side number one. Side number two is kind of low-key brilliant. It's not working out, but kind of low-key brilliant. Point number two is, wait, Why are we still doing the Russia shit? It's not the Soviet Union anymore. This is a capitalist country. They're kind of white. Kind of white, I guess. I guess it can work. Why not just work with them? I don't understand. Why not work with them? It's not working out because the Russians have more pride than that. And they have their own individual gripe against the Yanks. I'm talking pre-Ukraine war, right? Which is complicating this potential relationship from forming. But it's definitely a conversation that I talked about this 2 years ago in my video on Tucker Carlson, right? That was his big pitch. He's like, we are completely incompatible with China in every shape or form because they are a culture too different to ours, variation, and they're socialists, they're communists. We cannot work with this system. So we have to work with the Russians. Why the fuck are we fighting most of the countries in the Middle East? This is stupid. And why the fuck do we keep giving money to the Europeans? They are no longer relevant. Hell, Russia is a potential ally down the line against the People's Republic of China, or at least as a neutral party to a potential conflict, indirect conflict with the People's Republic of China, is a better ally than the Europeans ever could be. Okay? Why not try that path? So yeah, two things. They are looking for alternative relationships than the ones they have only with the Europeans, because they have understood that they don't need to negotiate with the Europeans. They have completely pussy whipped them. And number two, of course, number two is looking at alternative allies. That's it. I always thought Trump would try to turn Russia against China, but that's not going to happen. Yeah, not for now. For now, definitely not. But you put in haha, that's funny. Putin dies, you put in somebody like Navalny, and you will have the greatest gobbler of American imperial dick for the next 150 years, dude.
Put the candy in the bag!
Aw, how cute, a little bank robber.
Where did you find a video of my son? Why are you showing videos of my son? Who allowed you to record my son?
Oh my god, he can't get away with this.
He didn't.
Why do you look like you always rush B? Because, as we all know, your mother is always chilling at B.
That the possibility of leaving the NATO alliance remains on the table. Listen.
To pull out of NATO if it doesn't help you acquire Greenland. If it doesn't lead the
Well,
way.
we're going to see. NATO has been dealing with us on Greenland. We need Greenland for national security very badly. Yeah, we're talking to NATO.
Subscriber.
Now, a new CNN poll indicates that this policy push does face stiff headwinds from the American public, in addition to those protesters that we are seeing today in Greenland and in Denmark. 75% of Americans in that CNN poll say that they oppose Trump's efforts to take.
Yo, Finks, I love your Yugo Grady program episode. Which one? Thank you, Finks. We have so many good ones. The latest one on Venezuela is one of the best episodes I've ever recorded. Diego Ruzarin, which all Spanish speakers in chat should immediately follow. Can I get a shout out to Diego Ruzarin's Twitch account? This guy has like 10 million followers everywhere. But if you're not from Mexico or from Spanish-speaking South America, you might not have heard about him because all of his content is in that language, which of course it should be. That's based as fuck. If you speak Spanish, you should definitely check Diego out. Diego is, we don't agree on 100%, but I don't agree on 100% with fucking anyone except, I don't know, my future wife, because of course I agree with everything. Future wife, please don't beat me. Like all true future husbands should. We agree on everything. But he is pretty smart. Speaking about the Venezuela one, I had never heard of this guy outside of the program. He's literally bigger than me, JT, Hakeem combined times 11. He's as big, one could say he is as big as Hassan, but in South America to an extent. The Rev Thought episode was also great. I love Rev Thought. Just spent less than 10 minutes looking up Ryan Higa to figure out what he's up to now until I realized he's literally been live on Twitch for the past 20 minutes. That is so funny. You are such a main character. The world revolves around you, my friend, dude. Wait. Thank you, Anne. I'll send it. Wait, where is it? There you go. He even on Twitch, motherfucker streams once a week. He has more followers than me. This guy is insane. This guy is fucking insane. There you go, Diego Rosario. The Nigeria episode was, again, one of the best episodes we ever did. Yeah, follow Diego Rosario and listen to his stuff. If you're a Spanish speaker, she's incredible. He's really, 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 really fucking smart. Like, he talks philosophy the way I do. He talks socialist theory the way Hakeem does, and he's got the production value of JT. He's pretty based.
Control.
He's also very based. Like, don't expect this is not his stream is not a U.S. stream. Okay, he does not follow the sentimentalities of American culture. It's what you will hear this man call people all sorts of shit. So he's a violent motherfucker in all the best of ways.
Of Greenland. Many of the president's own supporters are against this move, so clearly he needs to do more to sell this unpopular policy to the American public. Frederica.
All right, Betsy Klein, thank you so much. Let's go now to Greenland, where we find Nick Robertson.
Let's go to Gamba. Come on, chat. You're so fucking close. I mean, you're not, but you see this number? We got to hit this number. You see this number, Western taxpayers? Absolutely pathetic. Only one Westerner out of 640 people. You're telling me there's only one rich Westerner in here out of 640 people? I don't believe you. Yes, I'm talking to you, rich Westerner, through this incredibly HD camera that I can now buy, thanks to beautiful gamblers and subscribers and taxpayers such as yourself. Jesus, I look good. Fuck me, I'm feeling myself. Damn, dude. Ooh, so clean. Sorry, I traveled yesterday, so all my clothes are in the wash. That's why I'm dressed in a fucking 0 out of 10 fit, but still. Shit, it's so HD, man. This is so HD. Cost a pretty penny, though, but it's so good, dude. So good.
And so, Nick, tell us about these protests taking place in that country today.
It is. Thank you, my friend.
Very popular protest by, I think, even conservative estimates. There's 20,000 people in this town, and perhaps a third to maybe half of them came out on the streets. And it was a very sort of simple message to the White House: Greenland's not for sale. Ask anyone on the streets as we did today, and that was the message. Dig down a little bit, and you get flavors of what else they would like to see. They would like to see independence in the future for Greenland. But it was very much sort of focused around families today. The Prime Minister came along. He told the local broadcaster here in Nuuk in Greenland that he had been in Denmark and he wanted to come back here. Is attending a lot of.
This is a relatively decent example of why federalism is sometimes a little bit smarter than just pursuing self-determination. And don't shoot the messenger. Oh my God, you Gopnik supports colonization. No. I support diverse countries in which every ethnicity has the equal rights for self-representation as every other ethnicity, existing in an as large type of a federation as possible, inside of as big of a structure as possible. If you believe that every fucking house should be its own independent nation state, leave my fucking chat, you fucking ultra-nationalist troglodyte, okay? But the main point, I don't fucking stand for that here. But the reason I'm mentioning this potentially, the fact that it is in a federation, hell, in this case, in a much worse thing, in a fucking kingdom, Jesus Christ, I'm going to shoot myself, allows for it to negotiate with far greater power than it would have if it was fully independent. Imagine if Greenland was did not have the negotiating capacity of the entire European Union, which is already not doing enough. But imagine if they didn't have that either, right? Imagine if they didn't have that either. There would be no Greenland. Like the Americans would not be negotiating, okay? It would be like Puerto Rico or something, but I don't know, different. So yeah, you get my point. We are stronger together. We always are. To try and unite nations into a larger structure does not mean erasing their individual cultures and ways of life. To the contrary, by uniting into larger structures, we limit or at least lower the chances of conflict and eventual real colonization and destruction of said ways of life, cultures, and nationalities. And if the first thing you're thinking is, oh, but if we unite everything in a larger and larger federation, then motherfucker's going to be having a lot of sex, and then some of the cultures might die off just through breeding. There is no difference between you and a white supremacist who believes in white genocide, okay? If through a period of 1,000 years, two cultures that exist in the same federation mix so much that neither of the original pure forms exist anymore, but a new, in my opinion, even more beautiful form born out of the greatest aspects of those two cultures is created. If that idea sounds nasty to you, you should read a history book, number one. And number two, you are like actually a fucking bigot. Like you believe in World of Warcraft races. Oh no, don't let the elves have sex with the goblins. We must keep the elves and the goblins separate. They cannot operate inside of they cannot have the same nation. Like, no, a Frenchman and a German are not a goblin and an elf.
Wonderful, a new child soldier.
They're the same species, my guy. Thank you very much, Grandmother Willow, for your $5. Thank you very much, Willow. In World of Warcraft, the most OP character is a mixed race one. There you go. Didn't that make orcs? There you go. And orcs are beautiful. Aren't orcs lovely? No, Slavs are orcs. You can't take that away from us. We are orcs. I always play orc. Franks are technically German. Yeah, 999. I know you're getting my point, but now you're trying to make me angry. Okay, but Slav women are elves. No, they're the biggest orcs. Are you fucking kidding me? Slav women are the most violent thing I've ever seen in my life or interacted with.
Orcs in Denmark, but he wanted to be here to be part of the protest here.
No need for apologies. I'm fucking with you, Triple. What the hell, dude? You've been here for a while. You know me.
The protest marched all the way through the town and ended up right outside the U.S. consulate. And there was the Prime Minister of Greenland on a snowy outcrop of rock right above the U.S. consulate, waving a big Greenland flag, giving a big speech in Greenlandic to the people gathered there. There was somebody else, another politician there who was speaking a bit in English. Again, that very simple, clear message. Greenland is not for sale. We don't want to be part of the United States. And I talked to some youngsters there as well, a group of young people. They were 20 years old. They told me in their first jobs, and this is their future they're talking about. And they told me how they felt about how many people they'd seen come out today with this message.
I did not expect so many to be here, but it warms my heart to know that we are all united together to stand by and fight Trump.
And what's your message to the president?
Our message is that Greenland is our country. We cannot be bought. We are people, and he should stop whatever he's doing, because We are the people of Greenland.
So what you could hear being shouted in the background there in the local language is Greenland, Greenland. The protests went on for about an hour and a half, and every few minutes people would be chanting Greenland, Greenland. The fact that
Oh my God, this is insane journalism. Whoa, whoa. They are sorry, that was what? What was it? When they switch the camera too fast and you have to say something, you're like, the people, as you can see, they are walking and they are speaking, they are hugging, and they are holding up flags, as you can see. They're walking really quickly. They seem very motivated. Okay, some are wearing jackets. Okay, some are wearing hats. There are a lot of glasses here.
it ended
Peak investigative when you have 1 out of 10 in observation in an RPG game.
outside the U.S. consulate, really part of that message to President Trump. But people I spoke to, those young people as well, they told me they're genuinely living in fear every night that this could be the last night that the U.S. troops could come here. There's a genuine fear about that at the moment.
That fear palpable, and the number seen in the number of people who are turning out for those protests. Nick Robertson, thank you so much. All right, we're watching large protests take place in Greenland and Denmark today as President Trump escalates his threats to take over the semi-autonomous Danish territory. Trump ramped up the pressure on the Arctic island today, saying he'll impose new tariffs.
Whether they go into Greenland or not is irrelevant. I mean, no, it's not irrelevant. Sorry, no, it would be huge if they go into Greenland. It would be huge, but in a grander scheme of things, as people like to say, we all see where this is going to go. Link it back to everything I said earlier. I don't want to repeat myself.
Tariffs on Denmark and several other European countries unless a deal is reached to purchase.
You cannot buy your way out of that particular contradiction. Once you run out of other people's money, once you can no longer sustain your empire on the looting of the developing world to the same rates you could loot at in the previous decades, there will be infighting amongst those in empire and empire's periphery. The main thing that has kept the United States and the European Union in a good relationship is that they could go and rob shit together. But now there's not enough shit to rob. So eventually, this relationship will crumble. That is why I keep shouting like crazy that there should be a populist, patriotic, unironically, yes, a populist, patriotic, leftist, class-conscious, European, anti-American movement that is anti-American first and socialist second. Okay, the anti-American shit is what's supposed to bring them in, and then we're going to give them class consciousness, etc., etc. Anti-American in which form? The European Union does not have the capacity right now for conversations about being pro-China. That would not be populist, quote-unquote populist. You know what I mean. I use it in the liberal, as I use it the way liberals use it, right? There's no space for that. There's no space for an alliance between the European Union with China as an alternative to the United States. Let's replace one with another. No, the pitch should be European sovereignty first, European sovereignty second, European sovereignty third, European sovereignty fourth and fifth. Relative isolationism and quite literally being the League of Independence, the way Yugoslavia was, right? Europe trades with everyone, participates in nobody's shit, right? Isolates, turns itself into a continent-sized fucking, hopefully more left-wing Singapore. That's supposed to be the pitch. And I really think that pitch can be sold to so many people, both leftists and even like European, but actual European quote-unquote patriots that understand that the American boot does not taste that good. It's a very, 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 very decent pitch. Isn't DN25 kind of like that in their messaging? To an extent, it is. It is good. Yes, it is. It is. But the problem that DN25 has, and that any movement that would like to espouse this has, is not only do they not get funding, because what rich American would fund this, okay? It's not getting funding. It has an even bigger problem. The second any anti-American voice grows in popularity on the European continent, the Americans bury it with billions, with trillions of fucking dollars, and the Russians bury it with a couple of $1 billion, right? The Americans invest like crazy in like Eurosceptic, pro-American, pro-ultra accelerationism into annihilating our country, Britain-style type of politics. And Russia invests in whoever's the biggest contrarian, because it is not in its interest to see, herder, sovereign Europe, blah, blah, blah. But the scale of financial intervention in the political scheme, the political system of Europe by Russia in comparison to the United States is absurd. Is absurd. It was like, dark Russian money in European politics. Dude, billionaires from America donate money to your far-right parties. They show up at your rallies. You have American politicians showing up and supporting openly European far-right parties and so on. If you want to talk about Russia intervening in your elections, which sure, it probably sends, briefcases over the border. Sure, every country probably does that. But to compare it to what the Americans do would be absurd. So yeah, there is a pitch to the Europeans that could be very chill. And if you were, an electoralist and so on, if you're a young whippersnapper in Brussels, or, you're entering your local party, start giving that pitch. And I think generally everybody in Europe, all true socialist and communist parties, like anti-imperialist parties, have the potential to wash off a percentage of blood off of Europe's hands that it has been covered in for the last fucking 7 centuries. But let's not talk a millennia ago. Let's even talk since World War II. So no, European socialists, don't play the whole fucking game. Oh my God, we're all evil. We want Europe to collapse in on itself. Okay, it's great, it's funny. Yeah, balkanize Germany. So fucking hilarious. Yeah, sure, we can shitpost and chat about that. But if you want a potential legitimate movement with a relatively legitimate pitch that a normal person can hear and potentially agree with, that is what I say. That is what I believe could really help boost. Because look at Trump's giving it to you. He's giving it to you. There you go. Oh my God, this is the coolest camera ever. Thank you to people like Punkies with the 5 gift subs for allowing me to have a camera like this. No, man, this is a complete game changer, dude. This is a complete game changer. What the fuck? Is this what rich people feel like? I feel like a rich person right now. And look at how cool the AK looks right now. You don't see it, but you see it. It's really nice. I'm just going to get a bigger lens so I have like a bigger... Shouldn't we focus on our imperialism first? Yes, you should. And that should be the whole meme. The whole meme should be, we're doing imperialism for the United States. We should no longer be doing imperialism for the United States. We should no longer be doing imperialism, period. Let's develop Europe fully sovereign, fully independent, fully neutral, do our own fucking thing. We help nobody, but we stop nobody. We literally do nothing win, okay? Because you can't pitch them, allied with China, that's not going to sell, right? Or you're going to get assassinated. Like, the fuck are you talking about? But if you're like, neither Beijing nor Washington, as cringe as it might sound, it is a sellable pitch. It is a profoundly sellable pitch. Your opinion, partly thanks to you, I've been feeling more optimistic. We've seen stuff moving, including on Israel-Palestine. Absolutely. As disgusting as it might sound, what was happening in Gaza was a political gift to the left because it's created more socialists than 1,000 Bernie Sanders combined. Good pitches don't make for doable policy. We can't all be Singapore. International balance of payments needs to be reckoned with. Trading with everyone necessitates internationally determined guardrails to what you can do internally. Yes, I agree. But I'm talking about the pitch. I'm not talking about what you do after the pitch. I'm your marketing guy. How you will create, how you will redesign the logistics of your domestic and foreign policy, and how you're going to create, the let's say the pathways of capital that you will have to now redraw because you are no longer married to the United States, will be a pretty long and complicated process. But at least you won't be giving the Americans your territory. You get what I mean? Like here we're comparing some relative political and economic instability brought about by the divorce of Europe from the United States versus like the United States eventually eating you, literally eating you. But yes, when I said like complete neutrality, obviously that's impossible. I'm saying complete neutrality is a pitch. You can't be neutral. If anybody thinks that Switzerland was neutral, you are a very beautiful, nice, and naive person.
Greenland. The protesters in Greenland telling Trump today that their homeland is not for sale. The same message was heard in protests in several Danish cities earlier today, with thousands taking part. A U.S. delegation of bipartisan U.S. lawmakers is in Copenhagen, meeting with leaders from Denmark and Greenland. And amid the growing tension, several European nations have sent military personnel to Greenland for joint exercises. CNN's Betsy Klein is joining us
including Slovenian femboys, okay?
Now, Betsy, good to see you again. What more are you learning about these tariffs and Trump's threats to annex Greenland?
Well, Federica, starting in his first term and steadily escalating ever since, President Trump has been emphatic that the U.S. must have control of Greenland for national security purposes to combat rising threats from China, from Russia. This, of course, has spawned major pushback from Greenland, from Denmark.
That is the funniest part about the entire pitch. What is the potential threat by Russia and China? Ooh, they're going to come and take your territory, right? That's the threat. They come and take your territory. So me, America, will protect you from Russia or China coming and taking your territory by taking your territory. What? What did you... What? 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 I like very much, very good, 10 out of 10. What? It's the best offer I can give you. Listen, somebody was going to take it away from you. It's literally the logic of a drug dealer. Somebody would have sold the crack. Okay. Why can't it be me?
Which controls Greenland as well as top European allies. And that escalated once more today when the president laid out a tiered tariff threat. And this threatens to potentially rattle markets and really disrupt key trading partner relationships. I want to read to you from the president's post to social media. He says, starting on February 1st, 2026, all of the above mentioned countries, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland, will be charged a 10% tariff on any and all goods sent to the United States of America. On June 1st, 2026, the tariff will be increased to 25%. This tariff will be due and payable until such time as a deal is reached for the complete and total.
Remember how unipolarity good actually and leads to greater levels of stability. Remember how some people make that point.
Purchase of Greenland. Just under 2 weeks there until February 1st for those leaders to reach a deal.
Remember how one country having an economy that is so inflated that that is so fat that it pushes all other economies out of the car if it chooses to, out of every seat. Okay. Cartoon style, Tom and Jerry style, inflates the entirety of the car like a balloon. Remember how that's actually like a normal state of affairs, how that is an efficient way of governing our planet. Thank you, Corrupted Save, for the $5, your first $5. Thank you for your taxes. You see, only one Westerner has paid their taxes. There's been like 4 or 5 developing world chatters paying their taxes. Westerners just invading Greenland and hoarding all their wealth, while developing world chatters know how to fucking do it. Thank you, Corrupted Save. Somebody give Corrupted Save a sub. Corrupted Save just gave you 5 subs. Now you guys give Corrupted Save a sub. That is how socialism works. From each according to their ability to each according to their need, okay? Corrupted Save's ability was to give 5. So he gave 5, or she or they. And now your ability might be smaller, but you can still do it. What's up, Argonian Bum? Have you been lurking today? Very nice to see you, Argonian Bum. Everybody go and follow Argonian Bum. Dear friend of the show, also streams. Really smart. Thank you.
With President Trump, and we are hearing from...
Yeah, this is the community that I fucking built in this motherfucker, okay?
Top European...
The economy of Yugopnik Twitch. Bro, trust me, bro. I got the scheme fucking figured out, bro. You gift 5 subs, and then somebody gifts you a subscription. So you get a subscription. No, bro, don't buy yourself a subscription or use your Prime. No, how we do it here is you buy 5 gift subs, and then somebody else gifts you a sub. Why do we do it like that? It's definitely not a pyramid scheme thought up by the streamer himself in order to turn 1 sub into 6 subs. Definitely not. Moreover, beyond these general ties, a more direct interconnection can be observed between fascism and war in Italy and in Germany, because these 2 countries lack raw materials and markets because they're in the category of hungry nations as opposed to sated nations. Yes, like once your economy becomes big enough, you automatically, to an extent, become a hungry nation. But from the context of satiating a part of that hunger with natural resources that you have, versus if you're a country that doesn't have a lot of natural resources, so you got to go out there and take it. In that context, then yeah, there are hungry and satiated nations. But when you pursue, but in the in a more, let's say, more general sense, if you're following the capitalist model, you're following an insatiable model, right? Always more. Line go up, line go up, line go up. Juju gata jeong dae, as the Koreans say. Okay. So if you always gotta make sure
child
that
soldier, subscriber.
Line go up, juju gata jeong dae, you eventually step out of your borders and you start stealing shit. Thank you, Slow Zero, for the 5 months with Prime. Reminder to all the Prime legends in chat to use their Prime on me, because I have a fancy camera now, and I am better than everyone, okay? Somebody with a fancy camera like this, okay, they deserve 2 phones, okay? And they deserve like 17 million subscribers, okay? You have this sort of camera, you have to have at least 4,000 subscriptions. With this camera, okay, I'm no longer a 2,000 sub Andy. With this camera, I'm sorry. This camera, at least 4,000, at least 5,000. Okay, I will be satisfied with 6,000. Okay, if you insist, 7,000. Jesus Christ, you guys are so aggressive. Thank you, Zivexal, for the 15 months. Very nice to see you, my friend. Very nice to see you.
Officials expressing.
I don't actually have two phones. This is my old phone. This is my old phone that I still use for my online banking because I am incredibly paranoid. I just have this phone that only has my banking app. Like, it has nothing else. And I keep it in a safe. Like, I actually do. You cannot access my online banking any other way. I am and it doesn't have a SIM card either. And if I go outside of the city for a while, I disconnect it from the Wi-Fi, so nobody can really connect to the Wi-Fi and then transfer from here. One phone for drug dealing, one phone for the Huz. Yeah, the old days are gone.
Very stark concerns about the president's threat here. I would just remind you that a couple of days ago, Vice President J.D. Vance, along with Secretary Marco Rubio, met with top officials from Greenland, from Denmark. And one of those officials, the Danish foreign minister, said in a statement that this comes as a...
začepio ću ti jebe mater. Znači, pusti me da se kurčim ovde. Pusti čoveka se kurči. To su ti, bre, Balkanci, bre. Hoćeš komši da umre krava. Hoćeš ljudi da ne misle da pičku materinu, koja si ti govno.
A surprise. He said that they had productive...
Volim te, majke mi.
discussions. We also heard from French President Emmanuel Macron. He said, quote, tariff threats are unacceptable and have no place in this context. He warned that Europeans will respond in a coordinated manner. We heard from the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who says that this tariff strategy is, quote, completely wrong. We also heard from European Commissioner Ursula von der Leyen, who says that tariff...
But I was hope-pilling you with my conversation about what sort of rhetoric the Europeans can use when it comes to, the Europe first, sovereign Europe, neutral Europe kind of pitch. That's the hope pill. That's if you want to win, that's what you do. But what usually happens with the periphery of empire is empire starts to decline. At least what has happened throughout history and what, theory, or both, even realist political theory implies, but also Marxian, specifically, Lenin's analysis of empire, is the periphery eventually starts fighting amongst each other for the scraps that are left over. So, you have the big pirate ship and you have a bunch of small other pirate ships. That is empire. And it is flowing through an endless sea, and it is boarding other ships. They are all together boarding other ships, robbing some ships, sometimes taking the whole ship, etc., etc. And they're flowing and flowing and flowing, and that works for decades, sometimes even centuries, and eventually you run out of other people's ships. So what usually happens is the big ship starts also not only giving less booty to the small ships, it also starts kidnapping and raiding its comrade ships, right? What do the comrade ships have as a viable option in that case? What's the viable option? It's either them uniting and leaving the big ship to fend for itself and creating their own destiny somewhere else. This is the good ending. The bad ending, the more likely ending, though, is the big ship. For example, the big ship has 10 friends, but understands it can only feed 6 friends. It goes to the 6 friends and it says, let's cannibalize the other 4. So most likely the long-term pitch here is exactly that. It is turning the Europeans one against the other, basically creating 2 tribes of those who want to remain in America's good graces, like Germany, and those who might take some of the first steps against this sort of unipolarity, like, for example, France, which then can potentially lead to the destruction of the entirety of the European Union, right? So there you go. That's the 2 paths. I can't believe I was in a very good mood because of the new camera today, so I only gave you the hope pill. of how this can, create a unified, sovereign, independent, and neutral Europe. But most likely, no. They're just gonna infight the living shit out of each other. I listened to Italy's, female Führer speech on what to do about the Americans, and she basically said nothing. She literally was like, I don't know what to do. This is fucking crazy. But there was a part where she was like, we have to look out for Italian interests first, even if they might not align with the Americans. But then she said a very weird thing. Or with our fellow European countries. Ah la la. Mm-hmm. She's implying maybe, being one of the last dogs of American empire can still fill your pet bowl.
Would undermine transatlantic relations and risk a dangerous downward spiral. Now, as you mentioned, European countries have deployed a military presence to Greenland. They say that that is exactly because President Trump says that this Arctic island needs more security. They say they are doing what he is asking. And back here at home, as we are seeing those protests play out in Greenland and in Denmark.
I saw this video. I think it's lib the fuck out, but I think it's from the New York Times opinion. Like, I want to blow my brains out. And New York Times. Oh, I actually got. Oh, and that's a wider and greater problem. Whenever America does something unhinged, they're like, oh, that's just the current administration. Trust me, bro, when the next administration comes, it's going to be more normal, bro. Trust me.
Mr. Moore.
Hence
the inability to analyze things in a historical, linear fashion has always been fascinating to me.
My phone call. But while I'm on hold, maybe we can talk America? To start, let's look at a map.
Ooh,
this
mapa.
is Greenland. Roughly 50,000 Greenlanders live there, and it's not green at all. It's white. It's all white. Maybe that's why that Stephen Miller guy loves it so much. This is Denmark, almost 2,000 miles away. 6 million Danes live here. We do minimalism, we do Lego, we do hygge, we do the fat shot. That's us. Now, Denmark and Greenland are not the same country, but we are in a relationship. We share a king, but we have individual governments. We are very different, but we make it work. To put it in American terms, we're like Trump.
I mean, it makes sense to come after Greenland as the United States of America because Denmark kind of called for a war against one of the quintessential American cultural staples, being fat. Phobic as fuck joke, but it was too good. I can't. It's Denmark. It's like Denmark basically bombed every single McDonald's in the United States by inventing Ozempic. What is being American? Loving oil, shooting schools, and being chubby, right? Well, Denmark was like, no. You cannot. You can continue shooting up schools. You can continue invading other countries, but you cannot be chubby.
And Melania were formally together, functionally separate, and both pretending it's very normal. America and Denmark actually go way back. We usually follow blindly whenever you guys feel like invading a country. We did it with the Gulf War, we did it with Afghanistan, we did it with Iraq. Coalition of the willing.
We will lead a coalition.
Okay, so self-irony. I love it. I love to see it. Rarely comes out of a European's mouth. It's nice.
Coalition of willing nations to disarm him.
We were the willing. But this
Because you're fucking idiots.
time, we can't help you. Because you're talking about invading a country that we already invaded. Look, we already know how colonialism ends. We've seen this film before.
India in revolt. Protesters smoked out by the police.
Here's why invading Greenland, the easy way or the hard
Yes, it is an NYT video. I want to die.
way,
This is the torture section.
bad.
Torture segment of the stream.
Bad for America and for the world. I think I need some fresh air. Danish missionaries invaded Greenland in 1721, slowly taking over the country. And for 250 years, we did whatever we wanted to them, basically going full colonial on them. Even in the 20th century, we were inserting IUDs into Greenlandic women to limit the population. We were separating Greenlandic children from their families, sending them to Denmark. Horrible stuff. We even let America build military bases in Greenland. During the Cold War, you guys had 10,000 troops based there. You even crashed a B-52 carrying 4 nuclear bombs there in 1968. Remember?
The hunt is on to locate the missing nuclear weapons.
So, what did we Danes learn from the past couple of centuries? Well,
imagine a fucking undetonated nuke drops on your fucking house. Are you keeping it or are you keeping it? I'm fucking keeping it. Are you fucking kidding me? Like I'm on my deathbed like 70 years later.
Wonderful.
Daughter,
A new child soldier.
come closer.
Subscriber.
Like my whole family is around me. Come closer. Will you do one final thing for me, daughter? Yes, of course, Grandpapa. Go to the shed. There is a big red button. Press it. Causes nuclear Armageddon. Everybody dies with me, which basically renders my death not death because also everybody else is dead. These are my fantasies. Thank you very much, Zans, for the 12 months. It is very nice to see you, Zans. Oh, you too, Yugo. Yes. Yes, you, me too. Me three. Me too movement.
Well, the obvious.
Valid take, right, Aiden?
No population.
We've hit 1 hour and 30 minutes. Reminder to subscribe to the show. Pay your taxes. We don't take sponsors. We don't do ads. 100% supported by chat itself. We now have this fancy camera because I actually invest the money that you spend on the show. 10% of what the show makes goes to the producers, etc., etc. Many valid reasons, okay? One valid reason, because you're a Westerner, you need to pay your taxes. Second valid reason, because you're from the developing world and you need to make the Westerners feel embarrassed because they're not paying as much taxes as you. Third valid reason, subscribe for yourself because then you get the little emote next to you and you feel superior, and also I feel good and you feel good. Reason number 4, primes are free. Use them, okay? Reason number 5, I can buy nice stuff and the show will look good. Those are my 5 reasons. Apologies for the grift session, but we always have to do the grift/shill session. Oh yeah, reason number 5 or 6 or whatever it was. Let's gamba, dude. Like, for real, dude. Let's please fucking just gamba, please. You can use emotes around the platform. No, I'm talking about the little picture of the little child soldier next to you. I'm working on new ones, by the way. I'm working on new ones. But yeah, subscribe so we can please, if you want, please let's punish the streamer.
Is going to be happy with a foreign government ruling over them. The Greenlanders hated us for centuries. Some still do. So Trump invading Greenland is not gonna help America's place on the global stage or at home. And I know he says he's the most popular president in the most popular country since the dawn of time.
I'm a very stable genius.
But trust me, he's not. And going old school colonial on Greenland is not gonna help. Anyway, back to the history lesson. In 1979, Greenland voted for greater autonomy from Denmark and to form its own government. And this is important because Trump keeps talking about buying Greenland.
Wonderful.
The fact
A
that
new
they had a
child
boat
soldier.
land there
A new
500 years
subscriber.
ago doesn't mean that they own the land.
Denmark doesn't own Greenland anymore.
An American white person saying that is, what are we even doing anymore? Like, what are we even doing anymore? This is what I saw earlier. Wait, I can't even open X/Twitter for you guys directly because maybe I'm like just a dick might appear. Look, what is even happening? What is happening?
Crazy hamburger! Crazy hamburger!
They don't understand the things I say on Twitter.
The only question I have is, how did the club play this? How the fuck did the club play this? Thank you, Sun Smash, for your 5, you fucking legend. And thank you, Open Presents. Did I just get a present from somebody called Open Presents? I want everybody in chat to say thank you to Open Presents, our second taxpayer of the day. Yo, look at me. Thank you. That was very nice of you. That was very, very nice of you. Thank you very much. You're very chill. Second taxpayer from the West for today. Thank you very much. Very kind. No joke. Very kind. Thank you. Somebody, by the way, Open Presents. I don't think Open Presents has a sub themselves. So please subscribe to Open Presents. Okay? I mean, not subscribe. Gift a subscription to Open Presents. Wait, is it Open Presents like a thing? Because Open Presents literally just followed 1 minute ago and immediately gave 25 subs. What the fuck? Are you a person or is this something? Well, Open Presents is Hassan's biggest oiler. Are you fucking kidding me? Yo. What's up, man? How you doing? What's up, dude? But yes, this is what we have. Welcome to the 21st century. We have a black Nazi that made a song called N-word Heil Hitler being sang by a fucking Asian, Latino, black dude, and whatever category of gay this dude is, and in a club. And they're the right wing's online influencer squadron. 2026 starting off impressively. God is shit posting us, I guess. Solidarity. Thank you very much, my friend. So yeah. White supremacy is multicultural now. Later, we're going to check out, I know it's old news for some of you, Nick Shirley. I only recently found out who this is because I touched grass. But apparently he's like just lobotomized. Apparently he's just literally lobotomized. So I really want to check him out. By the way, Open Presents, if you're a very known oiler, thank you, Barry. Thank you very much. Here, we can gamble them. So, you know, keep an eye out for the community because this is the only place on Twitch where I made it legal for us to actually gamble with gift subs. You can potentially bankrupt me because it's funny. Or you can potentially double all your subs. So I'll make your investment worth it, if you know what I mean. I'm already regretting what I'm saying. Open Presents would ruin you, lol.
Greenland owns Greenland.
You please don't play with Open Presents. Well, shit. Now what did I do now? Fuck. Shit, fuck.
Us Danes even asked the Greenlanders how they'd feel about being bought.
300,000 kroner.
No, he could never buy us. Ever in my life, I would.
500,000?
No.
You see, we know the Greenlanders. They're a proud indigenous people who are not interested in being Americans. You can't just buy them off. So, Trump is running wild. He's kidnapping presidents, he's invading other countries without congressional approval, and frankly, we don't want that mess spilling into Greenland. Or Europe. Or Legoland, for that matter. So again, that's why we're trying to speak to the manager. But Congress still isn't picking up the phone.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Oh, my God. Makes a decent video and then misses the whole point. It doesn't matter. I mean, of course it matters, but who is currently at the executive seat of empire, in this case, of the United States of America, is who is in the driving seat, is in the driving seat because America is the way it is, not vice versa, okay? The car is on motherfucking autopilot.
Hello?
Peter Thiel. Yeah.
The Americans are determined to
The New York Times make me want to blow my brains out. And